Ready to roll? Here we go. Let's do this thing. Come on. Okay,
God, help
here we
us.
go. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another wonderful episode by the Xbox Dive.
I'm here.
My name is Jamie, and that guy over there is Chris. The one that
I'm
just
Chris.
keeps making noise. I don't know what's going on, why he's here, but
Listen,
here we go.
okay. I may fall asleep in the middle of the show. I'm just letting you know.
Good idea. Wonderful. This week, Studio MDHR announced in a blog post that Cuphead is getting delayed until 2017. Now, I've been super hyped for Cuphead for a long time, since it was announced back in, 2014, I want to say? Like, it was a long time ago.
Wow.
And it just keeps getting delayed. Oh, it's coming out the end of 2016. It's like, okay, well, we're getting pretty close to the end of the year. And they came out and said, it's getting delayed. Now, here's the actual blog post they wrote. It's really short, to the point. They said, throughout this year, we discussed reducing the scope to make a 2016 release. But we made the difficult decision to delay the launch in order to ship with our vision intact. We are happy to announce that Cuphead will be coming to Xbox One, Windows 10, and Steam in mid-2017. So not only is it not coming out in 2016, the soonest it will come out is 6 months into 2017. This game is getting delayed so much. And I've got a feeling the whole reason it got delayed is because they added these platforming levels. Because Microsoft knew they had something, like, they knew they had gold here with this game. And it was going to be boss battles. And they probably thought, we need to beef this up a little bit. And they probably went to the company and said, hey, you have as much time as you want, just add more to the game. Because it says in here, they discussed reducing the scope, which probably meant they were just going to cut all that platforming stuff out. But they decided to keep it and, move forward with this new vision. So I guess, Chris, first of all, is Cuphead going to be in trouble because it's been on people's radars for so long, and now it's just going to start falling off because, it's delayed again. Will this game ever come out?
Yeah, 100%. It will definitely come out, and it will definitely be hurt by this. And this is a shame.
Right.
To be completely honest with you. And, there's probably a lot of blame to go around. I think Microsoft has not handled this well.
Mm-hmm.
But do you remember the reveal of this game?
It was in the whole game when it was first revealed. It was like a tiny little snippet in an indie reel. Like that's all it was.
5 seconds.
Right. It was like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe.
And everybody lost their flipping mind because it looked like an old, like Steamboat Willie style cartoon, and you're like, this obviously is like a cutscene. This can't be the game. And then it's like, it is the game. It's fantastic. Several of the interviews said that the initial vision for the game was for it to be just basically a boss rush.
Yep.
Right, where you're just playing bosses.
And it looked awesome. It looked so good. This is going to be extremely difficult, but it was so good.
Yeah, and each boss had several stages, and you'd have to learn the patterns, and it was like Mega Man without levels, without weapons.
Yeah,
it's just learning patterns and shooting things, and it looked great.
So good.
And then I think that the internet exploded because they were like, "Holy crap! We've never seen anything like this in a video game before. I need this. I want this in my life." And so Microsoft, being a great publisher, I mean, that they are, the games they publish most of the time are really, really great, and they take pride in that. Saw it and said, "Hey, let's make this special." And so, they probably sat down and was like, how can we make this, maybe just a little bit more than boss rush? And who knows how that conversation went. But what we do know is they decided then to add levels. The problem that I have with the comment that was made is that they said that they want to go with their original vision.
Right.
Which is why they're delaying. But from the things that I read 2-3 years ago, their original vision was a boss mode. Right.
And that was pretty much it. Now, I mean, I think the main issue here is that MDHR is 3 people. That's it. It is 3 people. And they're hand drawing all this stuff. So when they decided, or maybe Microsoft decided, whoever did, and came up to them and said, hey, we want to do platforming levels, they're like, you've got to be kidding me. Because that means they had to go and hand draw
That's probably
all
true,
these levels, all
Of
new
course.
enemies, all new platforming stages. I mean, with 3 guys, I mean, I can't imagine how long. I mean, now, let me ask you this. Do you think MDHR just became too ambitious? Because Microsoft or whoever came to them said, hey, you have as much time as you want, make this something special. And they said, we got to do this and this and this. Oh, wait, how about we do this? Oh, this is a great idea. Let's do this. And it just kind of like took off. And
yeah, listen, if you're watching the show right now, hi, by the way, thanks for watching. Please like our video and subscribe to our channel.
show. That'd be great.
we're awesome. But listen, if you're watching right now, you know what? Everything that's going to be said from this point on, at least for a little while, is going to be total conjecture because we weren't in the room where it happened. We don't.
Well, Chris,
don't
you probably were. I mean, you being so close with Phil and all.
I mean, they called me and asked me if I wanted to come, but I just couldn't make it. I was busy with other things.
Sure.
So here's what I think. I think that when they originally announced kind of the release window, that they were planning to release the game that they wanted to release within that window. And then I don't believe that it was their ambition that took over, but I believe it was maybe a joint thing of Microsoft saying, here, we'll give you more money. We're going to give you more marketing. Let's keep going. And they're like, okay, let's do it. Oh, let's add this. Oh, I mean, if somebody came to you, if you had a small vision of what you wanted to do, but somebody came to you and said, I'm going to double your budget. Do what you really want to do. And you're like, holy crap, I got all these great ideas.
Yeah, let's do it. Come on. Yeah.
But the problem is they showed the game too early.
Well,
to have it be extended this long.
Sure. Well, and I think part of the problem, though, Chris, is what you mentioned before. It was like a little 5-second clip in a reel. I don't think Microsoft or MDHR ever imagined it was going to blow up the way it did. And when it did, they're like, let's bank on this. Let's do something special with this. People noticed this. And I think, like you said, it was never their plan. Their plan was probably to do a small little boss rush, 5 bosses, 6 bosses, whatever it was, super hard difficulty, make it for speed running. That was probably their vision. That was it. 3 guys, they wanted to make something special. Yeah. But now, I know we brought this game up multiple times in the past, but I have a feeling it's turned into a No Man's Sky situation if they're not careful.
Yeah, I mean, I would go back even further. I think that the perfect template for what's happening is seen in Mighty Number 9.
Oh, sure, okay.
And you have this amazing creator. Mm-hmm. You have this pedigree of games. You have a formula that has proven to work for 10 Prime games and however many X games they made. Mm-hmm. Like, this formula works. Right. For decades it's worked. Mm-hmm. And the game didn't work. But I think that the game's problem was time. So let me ask you this. And I can't think of one. I was trying to think of one while you were talking offhand, and I can't think of one. Do you know of any very successful Kickstarter games?
I mean, off the top of my head, Shovel Knight is the only one that comes to mind.
Oh, yeah. Shovel
Knight was the only game I've ever kickstarted, and they're still adding free DLC to that game. They're adding 2 more DLC packs for free.
Yes. Shovel Knight's fantastic.
That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. But I think the problem with Mighty Number 9, there was just too many cooks in the kitchen. I mean, he kept coming with all these ideas, and they kept stretching out. And eventually, they changed the art style. They did all these things they shouldn't have done.
Yeah, but I would argue that if that game was announced and released within 12 months, it would not have been hated the way that it was.
Right. Yeah.
It became something that it could never live up to. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened to No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is not a bad game.
It's just not what people expected.
It's not what people expected. It was not the killer app that PlayStation fans were looking for, right? And so they get all this hype, and then the game's delayed, and then it's delayed, and you're like, oh, well, you're gonna play it, and now you start building up this. Oh, if you're gonna make me wait, it better be good. It's like that,
right? Well, and plus when the 3D not 3D, but the 2D platforming stages were first revealed and people played them on the show floor at E3 different events, people were coming back saying, this isn't good. Like they were talking about how bad it was. Not like how terrible it was, just how mediocre it was. And I think they got that feedback and like, oh no, we have to change this. We have to go back and really work harder on this and change it. So I think they're just kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. But I guess to kind of continue the conversation, is it ever too late to pull the plug on something? Not saying they should pull the plug on Cuphead, but like you said, with Mighty Number 9, eventually you get to a point where there's so many changes and so many problems, and you won't be able to release a game that people are going to like. Would they just be better off to pull the plug on it entirely? Or do you think that it would make people even more mad? Because if you release a really bad game, that's like a black spot on your record, right?
Yeah, but the question of bad is not, I think, what we're talking about here, right? Cuphead, from everybody who's played it, the bosses weren't great. The stages are kind of dull and boring.
Right.
I would cut the stages.
Right. I completely agree.
I would release today. I would release the game today as a boss game, and then take all those ideas that you have and the money that you're going to make from the game. No, not even DLC. Cuphead 2.
Oh, sure.
Like, okay. Why not? It's like, you guys like this. So here's something I'll say. Titanfall 2 is fixing to come out.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Titanfall had a huge hype train behind it.
Yes, it did. It was a game that was going to save the Xbox One. Yeah.
Save the Xbox One. And how did that turn out for Titanfall?
It had a great following for like 2 months.
It had a great following for 2 months. The people who played it enjoyed it, but it didn't revolutionize the world, right?
Right.
And what was probably the biggest complaint? There's no single-player content.
Right, yeah.
It was a multiplayer-only game. Now we're getting Titanfall 2 in 2 weeks. And, all the trailers have, it's basically, it's basically the Iron Giant is what it is. I mean, you have this, there's like a lot of heart in the trailer, in the pilot and the mech, they're really kind of connecting, and they're making Funko Pop figures of them.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, they're leaning into this, right? Mm-hmm. And so what they did was they took a core mechanic that worked and was great, and they put it out, and it sold fine. But what happened if they would have listened to all the hype and or all the complaints is like, let's delay this game another 6 months to add some single player content. Sure. You think that single player content in 6 months would have been good? No. So what they did was they cut it. They're like, this is the date. We said this is the date. Here's the game. This is what you get. They took that time now to make it what appears to be a great sequel. And I played the beta. I like the multiplayer stuff. Right. The story trailers, look really interesting, so I'm excited for that. So if I'm MDHR, I'm saying we're not waiting another 6 to 12 months before we're releasing our game. There's no way we can live up to the anticipation of what that game's going to be, and because it's just never. If you're in a restaurant, here you go. Here, follow me. I like to make analogies. If you're in a restaurant and you order
a bag of chips, and the bag of chips,
no. Something that you've been wanting. Sure. Like, let's say it's your favorite restaurant and it's your birthday, and this is the only meal in life that you wanted.
Sure.
Right. But something goes wrong, and it takes you an hour to get that meal. Is there any way that meal? It's like a 1% chance that meal is going to be worth the hour wait you had to wait to get it, right? And that's a crude analogy, but that's where
I totally get it. Completely understand
what I want now. So
sure. And so is it too late? Let's just kind of tie up the conversation here. Is it too late for Cuphead? Because, honestly, I know I'm going to buy it regardless. And I think I'm going to enjoy it regardless. But for the general public, for the average Joe gamer, is it too late for Cuphead?
So here's the thing. I think that it will sell decent.
Sure.
because it's so unique. The art style is just really, really unique. I think I think that hopefully they'll release a retail version, because I think they'll get more traction that way. Because I do think that online, I think that the fans are not going to fare with that game very well.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be
because it's the internet, and that's just the way. The way people
I know, but that's not always the case.
Sure.
I mean, I mean, look, Gears of War 4 came out last week.
Right.
And last week. And
yeah.
I mean, you're gonna have a few haters out there, but it is overwhelmingly very positive.
Right.
Now, it has its fair. There've been a lot of it's like the Star Wars Force Awakens. It's just kind of retelling the same kind of story, and blah blah blah. The bad guys are just like the Locusts, and there's a little nitpick thing, but overall, like, it's getting positive. Positive. But I think
but you gotta put it on the same plane, though. Would it still be the same way if it got delayed and then got delayed again and then it got delayed again? I mean, then I think people will be a little more harsher on the final product.
I agree.
Say, what'd you do with all this extra time we gave you?
And this is what I'm talking about. So when you hit June next year and you're finally playing Cuphead, what you are thinking as a hardcore gamer is, what in this game made it take 4 years to come out?
Right, yeah.
And so everything you see, whether you mean to or not, it's subconscious. Everything you see, you're like, why did this take 4 years to come? And again, it's three people. I'm not like
I agree, but the average gamer that doesn't do the research doesn't know that.
Look,
right.
I can barely write my own name, so I'm not. Look, I'm not saying that it's not hard. But what I'm saying is that the average hardcore gamer, they see things differently, and when they're playing that game, they're going to be let down simply because what took so long. It's the same thing that happened with No Man's Sky.
Sure.
Why did this keep getting delayed? There's nothing out here. There's no one to interact with. I haven't ran into anybody. I'm already to the center of the galaxy.
Right. This isn't what you promised me. Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. And so it's like, well, I mean, they took an extra year to make this game. Why am I already? And so you're never going to be able to live up to that sort of hype, and that's why delays are bad for games. So how do we fix it? So we're talking about we're talking about symptoms.
Sure.
The symptoms is that games are getting delayed. The problem is that they're announced. They should not be.
I agree. I think that would fix the problem. If they did what Fallout did, if they do what the Grand Theft Auto games do, if they do what hopefully we're assuming Red Dead Redemption is going to do, announce the game, release it within 6 months, if that. Once you have a final product to show, then start showing it. Build the hype then. If you let the hype go too long, you're stuck. The longer it goes, the worse it gets.
For me, the best like PR that you can have is a good product. Right. So Limbo was a good product.
Right. Sure.
You would agree?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So 2 years ago, when Playdead showed Inside for the first time, for a couple of seconds, and the world lost their freaking mind. They're like, "When is it coming out? When is it?" They didn't say anything because they had a good product. That's all the PR they need. Whatever this team makes, I'm going to buy and play. Period.
100%.
They showed another trailer at E3. The year after that, nothing. No release date, no nothing. They didn't even give us a release date at E3 this year.
Right. It disappeared. After. I mean, they never really even talked. I mean, the game kind of went off the radar for a long time.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. So we knew the game was in development, and again, that's fine.
Sure.
But it's when you tell me I'm going to play this game in 2015, and now you tell me, oh, what I meant was 2017.
Right.
There's a problem.
Right.
There's a problem.
100%. And I don't think it's too late for Cuphead, but it's not going to get the fanfare. It's not going to get the fan love that it would have gotten.
It's going to hurt it.
Right. It's regardless. I think regardless of how a game turns out, a delay is going to hurt it some way or another. Especially when the delay is if you're delaying like a month, if you're delaying like 2 months, and you say we had some bugs, we had some beta testing, something came back bad, we fix it. it's fine. Okay, that's fine. That's not really going to hurt the game. But if you say it's coming out in 2015, it doesn't come out to 2017, that's too long. But guys,
Yes,
let us know. Is it too late for Cuphead? You know, do delays really hurt games that much? We want to know what you guys think. Let us know in the comments down below. You can also let us know on our Twitter page at the Xbox Dives. Make sure you check that out. But until next time, guys, we are out.
I love you, Cuphead.
Hey guys, we hope you really enjoyed this contest from Xbox Dive. If you like what you saw, make sure to comment and subscribe down below. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Till next time, guys, we're out.